What is up? Thanks for coming back for another edition of the Horror Debate. I am Jeff Rowdy J. Gear, and with me, Michael Mandy.
And this week we are going to be debating Joyride, starring, what was the guy's name? Joe Beaver?
Joyride!
God,
is that it?
When you told me we were watching Joyride, I thought that you were getting another one of your porn films out.
No. This is a good flick. This is starring Paul Walker in an actually good movie, along with Steve Zahn.
Yeah, he was good in that.
You do.
You sing way too much.
Ooh, I'm in a good mood tonight, Mikey. All right, we finally.
And he was also cool in Sahara with Matthew McConaughey.
That's good for you.
Steve Zahn's a pretty cool guy.
She. I'm talking about Lily. What's her name? Sobieski?
Lily Sobieski.
Yeah. I've seen her in like another movie. What was it, Glass House or something like that? But she's kind of like this laid-back kind of style actress.
She reminds me of what's her name from Twister. Helen Hunt.
Yes.
She looks like she's like Helen Hunt.
Yes, I agree. Anyway, this flick. We watched this way back when it came out. I think it was 2001. Mm-hmm. We watched this in the theater, and I loved it immediately. It was around that time, like Jeepers Creepers and stuff like that was coming out, and we were a little disappointed with that. So we went and saw Joyride, and this thing was cool. I liked the premise. I liked the voice. Candy cane.
You're making him sound like Satan. He sounds more like...
Okay, maybe he wasn't quite that Satan.
He sounds more like, what's his name? Sam Elliott.
A little bit.
Hi there, Candy cane. You're making him sound like Satan.
Oh, well, okay.
But anyway...
Satan Neil?
Okay, the plot of this movie, it's kind of like an homage to Duel, Steven Spielberg's first film.
A little bit.
It's about,
better though.
A big sadistic truck driver terrorizing someone in a car.
Yeah.
But this is two brothers in a car, and then they pick up their girlfriend.
Well, Paul Walker, I like his movies, and I'm almost ashamed to say it. I like most of the stuff that Paul Walker does. I love the first Fast and Furious with Vin Diesel. I loved his new one, Running Scared, and you're always going, oh, you mean the Billy Crystal flick? No, I don't mean anything about Billy Crystal. I'm talking about the Paul Walker flick where they hold dude down on the ice rink and shoot a hockey puck in his face. You gotta love that. I'm talking about the hardcore stuff here, Mikey. But I'll tell you what, this is a good film. And it was structured well. It was paced well. Mm-hmm. Couple little holes here and there, but no big deal for me because I can suspend belief. You know what I'm saying? This is enjoyable for me. This was good stuff. And Steve Zahn. I mean, this movie would have never worked without Steve Zahn.
Steve Zahn.
Did I tell you this made Steve Zahn? I told you before we watched the film.
Well, I think he was made before the film, but he is the glue that holds this film together.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Did that thing you do, did that come after this?
I don't know, but I can find out.
Well, let's find out real quick
right.
So we got our chronological order straight here.
But yeah, that thing you do with Tom Hanks, that was a very cool movie.
Yeah, I love that film. But hold on. We're going to get the answer.
I think that thing you do probably came out before.
Yeah, see? No, I bet it didn't. I bet it came out after.
We will edit this out. I guess it did come after.
It did come after.
No, it isn't. 1996.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, 1996, that thing you do.
Well, see, he was already made then.
Yeah, he was already made.
But it doesn't matter because he made this film.
Yeah, he did make this film.
This was his showcase.
Yes, it was.
Comedy left and right, one-liners,
but it wasn't
good stuff.
It wasn't comedy slapstick.
No, not at all.
Or one-liners. It's kind of like
it was realistic.
Right.
It's like what two brothers would be doing.
Right.
Basically, what they do, since Mike can never get to the plot, right? You got these two brothers. Well, Paul Walker basically he's going on a road trip to pick up Lily, who's at school, going on vacation.
She's in Denver,
right?
She's in Denver. He's in Berkeley.
Yeah.
And then his girlfriend calls up from Salt Lake City and says, "Pick me up." And
so they can't.
No. Steve Zahn's in jail in Salt Lake City.
Right. He cancels his plane ticket, gets a refund, and goes and buys this car. Right. This big American tank of a car. Right. And he goes on the road, and on his way to pick up his chick, he stops by the local jailhouse in Salt Lake to pick up his bro, Steve Zahn.
Right.
So that's when the comedy begins. I mean, it's just like two brothers, a little bit of mischief on the road.
Yeah, they buy a CB radio. Problem is, truckers don't use CBs anymore. They don't talk about Smokey Bear anymore.
But this was back in 2001.
Yeah,
okay.
Smokey and the Bandit was over by then.
So, by the way, there was a Trans Am, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, they're rolling, and Steve's playing with the freaking CB. And he's making voices, and he's telling Paul Walker to make voices.
Pretend they're a chick and mess with
a chick. Yeah. So he gets on the mic going, hey, blah, blah, this and that. I could beat you at a hotel and blah, blah, blah. But they're talking to this dude with the voice. Yeah. I'm just going to call him the voice.
Yeah, he's just a voice.
Yeah, and he is a desperate kind of soul. And Paul Walker's making the female kind of voice. And he's teasing this guy like he wants to meet him at a hotel or a motel, right, on the side of the road. So that's what happens. But they get to the motel, and what happens? Inside the office, there's this jerk of a dude who's in there giving every racial slur known to man on this guy behind the counter. This poor guy trying to help this dude. And Steve Zahn goes in to check in, and this guy's rude to him and bumps right into him on the way out, like rudely body checks him, as Steve Zahn says, right? Comes out, and Paul Walker was talking to Lily on the phone, right? And he comes out and he says, hey, did you see that guy? That guy hit me on the way out. And he goes, yeah, I saw. They go, what do you mean you saw that? You didn't do anything about it, right? So they get the idea that they're going to play with this guy, both the trucker and this dude who was rude in the motel lobby, and they're going to direct the trucker to come meet Candy Cane at room 17, or was it room 11 at that time? I don't remember. But anyway, to meet them there, or meet her there, her being Paul Walker, but except that's the room that this big jerk is staying in that night, and they're going to listen from next door. Well, little do they know, once the voice shows up at midnight.
Rusty Nail,
yeah, and he shows up, and dude lost his lower mandible. Yeah, that was pretty darn cool.
They found the police show up the next day. We found the body in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Can you identify the body?
I liked that when they went into the hospital and the sheriff made him go into the hospital, skipping a little bit forward to see this guy who's in a coma. No lower freaking jaw.
Yeah, so anyways,
nothing but doofuses.
So Rusty Nail didn't like the fact that they played this joke on him. So
wow. So
then the movie takes off.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was having fun before that. I was having a grand old time when they were talking all kinds of smack to Rusty Nail.
Yeah.
This was good stuff. I love a little bit of humor in my horror as long as it fits, and this fit totally perfectly well. Yeah,
this film borrowed not just the general plot outline from Duel, but it was kind of almost like The Hitcher once they involved the girlfriend in it,
True, a little bit like that.
So anyways.
Lily's a different, I was trying to allude to this a little bit earlier, she's a different kind of actress. She's very more like kind of laid back on everything. She doesn't, even when she's supposed to have a real emotional scene, it's very quiet and very timid and very,
Yeah, she lets things happen around her.
Yeah.
She doesn't walk into the scene and command the scene.
She's not always the spotlight, as I guess what I was trying to say. But yeah, Mike, this movie was so good. I enjoyed this. I mean, it wasn't like a masterpiece.
It did kind of drag a little bit in the middle part.
Yeah,
in the middle.
A little bit. But you know what? I'm the king of drag in the middle. I mean, I notice that in every movie we watch. And this one I don't get bored with.
Yeah, no, this was very good.
You have real characters. And tell me this, Mikey. Tell me the truth now. You were behind those two brothers from minute one. As soon as he bailed them out of jail and they were on the road and you were getting some laughs out of it, you emotionally kind of get behind them.
Oh yeah, no, they were very amicable personalities.
Very likable.
Yes. It's very.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's what's so important. This director knew to get people behind these characters, make them sympathetic characters, so you would have that feeling when they're being chased down. Like you're being chased down in a way. Was it cool when, dude? I just skip forward a little bit.
I just want to say, I'm having driven an 18-wheeler, I'm glad, because a lot of times TV shows and movies and stuff will show the hero of the film hop behind the wheel of a semi and start driving away, or like Live Free or Die Hard.
Yeah.
People who have no experience driving a semi, and trust me, it's not just putting in a clutch and moving the gear shift, folks. If you've never driven a semi, no way in hell are you going to get that big thing to move.
Yeah. And this was done very realistically.
This was very realistic.
Yeah. So skipping ahead a little bit.
I don't know about the drive-through motel.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many really good moments in this film that you could leave the theater or your living room or whatever and go, oh, remember that part when. And you could. There's so many of those.
Yeah, the only thing I think was I thought the ending really set it up for a sequel, and I hate it when the movies make it
certainly
beyond
it's set up for a sequel.
obvious.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Beyond
not Candy Cane, but Rusty Nail was still yapping his gums at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
It's like, oh, come on. You thought the movie was over, the music was playing, and all of a sudden, oh, come on.
But how freaky would it be, Mikey, if you're screwing with somebody on a CB, which has a range of what, like 5 miles?
Yeah,
or
about
something?
5 or 7 miles.
Okay, so you're screwing with somebody on a CB. They're thinking there's no way this idiot's going to be able to find out who's screwing with him, and all of a sudden he says, you really ought to get that fixed.
Wasn't fixed.
That tail light. and there's no way he would know that unless he knew exactly where you were and was right freaking behind you.
And by the way, you guys probably thought I was kidding. No, I'm serious. The sheriff in this movie, his name, the actor, really is Jim Beaver.
Well, what's wrong with a little beaver here and there? Speaking of that sort of thing, was it cool when Rusty Nail made Paul Walker and Steve Zahn walk naked into the restaurant and ordered 6 cheeseburgers each?
Yeah, I didn't need to see Steve Zahn's butt.
Good stuff, though, Mikey. I mean, I don't want to make this movie sound lighthearted too much. It's not. It's actually very heavy. And you do feel for these characters, and they're being hunted down, and he's making them do all sorts of things where he can get the laugh of the joke instead of being the butt end of the joke, pun intended. I mean, yeah, man, this is good stuff, and it was directed very well. This is the same guy that's doing now True Blood. He's doing that on HBO right now, and I'll tell you what, this is good quality stuff. You should check this film out. This is a 4-star film if I ever saw a 4-star film, Mikey. This is pure 4-star quality film here. Good acting by Paul Walker. I never thought I'd say that. Good acting by Steve Zahn. And good comedy by Steve Zahn. Lily was good. Her friend was kind of hot. Yeah. So I'm telling you, Mike, 4 freaking stars all the way. And the sound. Was the sound impeccable? It was impeccable.
Yeah, when it was raining, when they were listening up against the wall and the camera closed in on the painting.
Beautiful.
And the rain.
And the painting came alive a little bit with the color and everything.
That was an interesting shot.
Sweet. I mean, sweet stuff. Go check this film out. It's Joyride from 2001. Mikey, what do you give it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's I'll give it a 4-star.
Yeah, see? Even jaded old Mikey's impressed.
Yeah,
now you know.
Check it out.
If he gives a horror film with Steve Zahn and Paul Walker 4 stars, everybody else would probably give it like an 8. Okay, so there you go. Take Mikey's advice. Check this out.
All right, I'm Michael Mandy. He's Rowdy Jeff. We'll talk to you next week at the Horror Debate.